Mary is a young woman living quietly in Nazareth. She is betrothed but not yet married. Her life is ordinary: household work, family ties, and the steady rhythm of a small town. Gabriel is an angel sent from God to speak words that change destiny. He appears not as thunder, but as a solemn messenger, bearing news that will reshape Israel and the world. As the room is quiet, Gabriel steps in and Mary is startled. The angel greets her with the words, "Hail, favored one." Mary reels with fear because in this culture, an angelic visit means a divine interruption of ordinary life. In that very moment, Gabriel tells Mary not to be afraid. He explains that she has found favor with God. This reassurance matters because fear would paralyze her. Instead, it invites trust in a promise larger than herself. As Mary steadies herself, Gabriel tells her she will conceive and bear a son, and will name him Jesus. He says this child will be great and called the Son of the Most High, which in Jewish thought ties the child to God's covenant promises and kingly hope. But before she yields, Mary asks a practical question: how will this be, since I am a virgin? This is not doubt alone, but an honest query rooted in the law and social reality where bearing a child outside marriage would be scandalous and dangerous. In response, Gabriel explains that the Holy Spirit will come upon her, and the power of the Most High will overshadow her. He describes a divine action that makes conception possible without human union, a theological claim that signals God's direct intervention in history. Then Gabriel gives Mary a sign. Her relative Elizabeth, long thought barren and advanced in years, is already in her 6th month. This sign roots the promise in a known miracle to show God is at work from the same family line and prophecy is unfolding. As Gabriel speaks, the weight of his words dawns on Mary. This child is tied to Davidic hopes and God's mercy spoken through the prophets. Gabriel's message is not private gossip. It announces a turning point in God's covenant with Israel. In that quiet second, Mary answers with humility. She says, "I am the Lord's servant. Let it be to me according to your word." Her consent matters theologically because it models faithful obedience and human cooperation with divine initiative. When morning comes, Mary travels to the hill country to visit Elizabeth. This journey matters because it moves the promise into community. She seeks the company of another faithful woman who has also been touched by God. As Mary arrives, Elizabeth is filled with the Holy Spirit and greets her with prophetic joy, declaring Mary blessed among women, and that the child in her womb leaps. This confirms the divine reality of Mary's news through communal recognition. In that gathering, Mary responds with a song, praising God for lifting the lowly and keeping covenant promises to Israel. Known later as the Magnificat, her words interpret the event. God is reversing fortunes and fulfilling mercy to the faithful. As the song fades, we understand why Luke records this incident. It demonstrates the inbreaking of God's kingdom in humble beginnings, fulfills promises tied to David, and elevates God's mercy as the central theme of salvation history. After the visit, Mary returns to Nazareth carrying the divine promise in her body. She faces social uncertainty and private wonder, yet her consent becomes the model for faithful cooperation with God at great cost and risk. Sooner or later, Mary will face questions and gossip. Luke hints at the social consequences, because a pregnancy before full marriage raises suspicion. Yet the story shows God beginning a new chapter through a woman whom society might easily overlook. As Luke writes, he places this scene amid promises, prophecy, and human response. He shows that God acts both through angels and ordinary people, that history is sacred ground where divine purpose intersects human decisions. As the chapter closes, the angelic announcement is more than private news. It initiates a chain that will touch shepherds, priests, kings, and the poor. In Luke's view, the incarnation begins in a humble home because God's mercy breaks into the margins of society. When silence returns, Mary remains a model of faithful assent. Her acceptance does not erase danger or hardship, but it shows how a human yes can welcome God into history and begin the fulfillment of ancient promises. Luke 1 teaches that God chooses the ordinary and acts through humble consent to fulfill covenant promises. The Annunciation shows mercy entering history in a fragile human life. If this story moved you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you do not miss the next one.